It's a great day, my amazing CEOs. Today, I want to talk about Toyota's super smart sales moves. Now, back in 1973, GM and Ford, they had a lock on the market, right? The car industry. They had like 82% of the car market. They owned it. But today, they own less than 20%. Why? There was this little known company called Toyota that came on the scene. And what did they do? They brought higher quality, more value at a lower cost. Now, the government tried to stop Toyota. They said, okay, we see what you're doing here. You're coming over here, you're shipping cars. And back then, it was very, very costly to ship cars all the way across the ocean, by the way. And they decided, you know what? Since you surprised us and you're doing this high quality, you're giving more value, and your prices are cheaper, here's what we're going to do. We're gonna put on a government import tax. And that was perfectly legal, right? They passed a law to put on an import tax. Imagine in your business, you get started and the government, for whatever reason, very legitimate reason, I'm not here to debate whether you're on the left side or the right side or you think it was right or wrong. The government did, in fact, put a what? They put an import tax. But this plan failed. It didn't slow Toyota down. They refused to give up. So what did they do? They said, you know what we'll do? We'll come over to the U.S. We'll build our cars inside of the U.S. This was a sales strategy, by the way. We'll still give them higher quality. We'll still have more value, and we'll still make it a lot less. So the wholesale strategy was more value, more value, more value. Now, if you say, Shay, what was Toyota's secret? How were they able to do that? How were they able to do that? Well, one, they were super efficient. And number two, they kept improving on the small things. And this is called continuous improvement. Some of you know it as never ending continuous improvement. So what's the takeaway that I have for you today before we get started, right? The big takeaway for you for a CEO, I have two takeaways. My first one is be like Toyota. Work on small things like your sales strategy, your sales positioning, your sales cycles. Toyota really focused on their sales cycle, and as a result, they were able to make shifts in the market as the market changed. And number two, just focus on improving the sales step by step. You do those two things, and you will have a very successful, prosperous business. You'll be profitable, but you'll also be in your passion, and you'll make a lot of change. With that being said, welcome to the CEO Sales Huddle. My name, by the way, is Shay Brown, and I will be your host today. So welcome. Here's what I love to share every morning, and I believe it's our mantra. Learn, earn, return. Every day, a CEO needs to look at their business and say these three words: I will learn, I will earn, and then I will return. Let's break that down into three areas. Repeat after me. I have to learn something new in order to in order to earn new revenue from current clients, in order to get new and old clients to return. Let me say it again. Let me say it again. I have to learn something new in order to earn new revenue from current clients, in order to get new and old clients, because isn't it all about getting a new client, getting new clients as well, and keeping the ones you have? So what are our objectives during the time that we have today? What are our objectives? We have really three objectives. Why is this thing bouncing over here? Why is this thing bouncing? This happened to me yesterday. I couldn't. There we go. I can't get it. Anyway, I'll figure out what I did and what I didn't do in a minute. That's not what I did. 1 second. Can't even see the board. Can't see where I'm at. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, here we go. The objectives. Number one, sales progress. You show up for one reason only, and that is to make more sales. Number two, to address any roadblocks. And number three, to understand the 5 sales pillars: sales planning, sales cycles, sales positioning, sales indicators, and having a sales team that can help generate more revenue. That's why we show up. That's why we're here every single day. So for those folks that show up every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Thanks for being part of this. Thank you so much. For those folks that are new, let me give you a quick overview of CEO Sales Huddle. It's a place where CEOs come to understand how to sell more faster. So if you're a CEO and you can take your eyeballs off of the sales indicator, like you don't even have to look at it anymore, then it's okay. This may not be for you. But I know for a fact if you're showing up and you hear CEOs every single day, the number one indicator on their dashboard is sales. So why should you show up? What's the big aha why? It's for sales growth, sales accountability, and consistency. So how do we do this? It's 15 minutes a day. Every day online, we have this broadcast. And you can tune in. What's the number one outcome? The number one outcome is $100,000 plus a month of consistent, predictable, reliable revenue. Consistent, predictable, reliable income. And there is no barrier. There's no credit card. There's no Cash App. There's no Zelle payment. Your only commitment is to show up for yourself and your business. Because part of life is just showing up. Part of life is just being here. So let's talk about one of the segments that we have. There's 3 segments that we have that are very, very important. We do this the first 15 minutes. So you show up, you're here right now, you would open up your dashboard. Now, for those that have been with me for a couple of sessions now, and you show up every morning, you can open up your dashboard now, and there's 5 indicators that we look at, right? There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 indicators that we look at. The first one is leads. So look at yesterday's numbers and then the day before. How many leads came in to your database? Now, a lead, just so we're all on the same page, is just someone that you can contact. You have their first name, last name, and phone number. If you didn't get any leads yesterday, that's okay. We'll talk about later what's one of the actions you took to put yourself in a position to get the leads. And the number one reason we say this is that leads represent hope. Leads represent hope. No leads, no hope. Yes, there's leads, and then there's engaged leads. We'll talk about that later because we're working on the sales plan this week, so we'll get to that. Number 2 are appointments. Now, this is just an assessment. This is not a beat me up time. So don't say, Shay, every day I got to look at this. Nothing's changed since yesterday. That's okay. That's okay. But I want you to review it. What gets measured gets managed. So how many appointments did you set yesterday? And then how many appointments did you run? And I want you to compare that to the day before. So how many appointments did you set? So maybe you set an appointment to get a deal. That's cool. You can count that. Maybe you set an appointment to do a collaboration. That's cool. You can do that. Maybe you set an appointment to speak to someone about what they do so you can better understand them and they can understand you. That's cool. But how many appointments were just set yesterday? Now, you don't always have to run appointments. That's not the point of this. Some of you have webinars. Some of you have masterclasses. Some of you have online activities. Those are appointments. Right now, I have an appointment. I don't know, with 10,000 of you, they're going to watch this, view this, download this right now. So this is an appointment, okay? Next are offers. How many offers did you make? Now, the offer first, I like to make the offers for folks who could buy something. That's a pretty good place to be in. Maybe you made 2 offers. Congratulations. Maybe you made 1 offer. Pat yourself on the back. Maybe you made an offer for someone that you could be an affiliate for them and they could be an affiliate for you. We talk about that a lot. You know, there's the reverse affiliate programs. Congratulations. But I want you to put the honest number down. Now, we talked about just having a simple spreadsheet. An Excel sheet is all you need. Put these indicators down on the right-hand side on the rows and across the columns going across per days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through 31. And all we're going to do when we go through 31 is every day we're going to put the numbers down. We'll go back and do a review later and we'll see what's working and what's not working. We'll compare yesterday to this day. So I don't want you to think, hey, Shay, I had a swing. Yesterday I had a problem. Something came up with the office. I had to deal with a client. I was busy all day. I had to take care of family. I understand that. But this is not a time for stories. These are what we call just the numbers. Okay, that's all we need. Number 4 is deals. How many deals were closed yesterday? If it's 1, congratulations. Sometimes 1 deal might be, for some of you, 1 deal could be worth $200. For others, 1 deal could be worth $200,000. Doesn't matter. Was a deal closed? If you got a column that says deals and then revenue, that's cool. Okay, but right now, this is the most important segment that we do every single day. It's the CEO dashboard. Okay, the next one is repeat business. So when we get deals in, I always like to say, okay, a deal came in. That's pretty cool. Was it from a repeat client? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But we want to acknowledge that. Was it from a new client? We can acknowledge that as well. Was it from a referral? You can acknowledge that as well. But what was the repeat business that came in yesterday, if any? Now, understand that some of you have sales cycles that are a lot longer. Some of you have a sales cycles a lot shorter. So every single day, you might not be clicking and putting something down for repeat business. But here's what I do know. These are the 5 indicators. Just like we have 5 pillars, we have 5 indicators. There's subparts to them. But these 5 indicators, if you measure them, manage them, you'll be just like Toyota. You'll make adjustments really, really quick. Because if there's no leads coming in, you know where to put all of your energy. Okay? If you're not making any offers, you know where to put all your energy. If you don't have any appointments to talk to anyone, even if it's an online appointment, or they're going and watching a video online, then we know we got to go. Okay. And in this era, the reason I say appointments are so important, and I keep mentioning digital appointments, is because we're all, no matter what industry you're in, we're building a digital media empire. And I believe I didn't talk about Toyota and some of the things they did, but because I didn't have time, but I want you to know that digital appointments should be a part of your sales strategy. We'll get into that because we're going to be talking about planning this week. That's something we've been working on all week. Okay, let's move on from this because I know I'm coming up on my 15 minutes, okay? And then when I do have 15 minutes, sometimes I have a learn, earn, and return segment, and we do what's called CEO overtime. And in CEO overtime, yeah, that's when sometimes we'll teach one piece. Okay, let's move on. Here's where we're going to celebrate the wins. We're going to celebrate the wins. Take a look right now and acknowledge, what are you most proud of? Now, just look at yesterday. I'm not asking you to go back and look at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days. Just look at yesterday. You know what I'm most proud about yesterday is the preparation that my team and I are putting into this. We stepped back. We took a look at some things that are working, some things that aren't. We took a look at some visuals, some changes we're going to be making. And I'm most proud of that, okay? It wasn't a big revenue day for us as a company, but I'm most proud of that. What was your biggest accomplishment? Now, it's not about me. It's not a confession time, but this is all about sales growth, accountability, and consistency. It's why we show up every single day. So what was your biggest accomplishment? Now, for those that DM me, thank you so much. I don't share it, by the way. I promised I wouldn't. But you can go over to @IamShayBrown, and you can just drop me a note. Say, Shay, one of my biggest wins yesterday was blank. One of my biggest wins this week is blank. One of my big takeaways is blank. And what do you want to brag about today? You just want to brag on yourself, whatever it may be. What is it? Let's go over here. And then we have the roadblock. This is another segment. So we have CEO dashboard. Then we have celebrate wins. And then we have the roadblocks, right? Now, number one, what was your biggest roadblock yesterday? What prevented you from really breaking through? And for me yesterday, I did my I like to plan the day before and put the 3 things I've got to do, and I kind of did it haphazardly. I should have put a little more thought into it and focused on it. So sometimes I'll write it down and then I don't look at it. Well, it's in my daily journal. What is preventing you today from moving forward? And what's the one thing you can do? Now, you may not answer all 3 of these. You might just grab one. What's the one thing you can do today that can help move your business forward? I'll be on business travel. So there's some things I'm doing to put in motion for CEO Sales Huddle, and some things I'm doing to make sure that I can stay on track because we've got a lot going on, just like many of you. So I said, what's the one thing I can do? Well, only I can be the voice to certain things. Okay. Now we're going to move to a segment as we hit the overtime mark almost. Hey, check this out. We're within 15 minutes. This is pretty cool. Team, you acknowledge we're getting better at this. We're in a segment now called Learn, Earn, and Return. Sometimes it takes us into overtime where I might do an extra couple of minutes. And the Learn, Earn, and Return is by really focus on the 5 sales pillars that we focus on. And every CEO must understand these 5 sales pillars. They don't have to do them all, but they've got to understand them because when they don't, it causes havoc. Let me just share what they are again. Number 1, they're sales planning. Now, we're going through a whole process right now on sales planning, which I can't wait to continue to share with you on. Number 2 is sales cycles. What cycles are we in? How long does it take? What's the customer's journey? Where are they? How many people on first base versus second base versus third base versus coming home, as my good friend Daniel Grissom would say. Sales cycle. That's the engine of the whole company. And then there's sales positioning. I love what Toyota did. Okay, they're going to position themselves as, yes, we'll give high value. Yes, we're going to have high quality. And yes, we're going to do something different and make a statement in the market. And then there's sales indicators. You have to measure those. You got to see where you are. We look at 5 every single day, but inside the CEO Sales Dashboard, if you haven't been over to CEO Sales Huddle, CEOSalesHuddle.com, make sure you register so you can get the CEO Dashboard, the CEO Sales Playbook, and step-by-step exactly what you need to do in order to create a breakthrough for your business. And number 5 is sales team. Now, nothing like some you not there revenue, right? Your team's out working and the revenue comes in. That's pretty cool. So let's now, as we get into a segment that's doubly important, let's see, how do I do this? How do I do this? Bring myself back. There we go. Fantastic. Welcome back. Learn, earn, and return. We must learn something new in order to earn repeat business from existing clients in order to go back and get new and existing clients to return. Oh, I love it. So this particular week, we're working on a 5-part series, and the 5-part series is all about building our sales plan. And when we first started, the whole goal is to have a $200,000 sales strategy. Now, goal is $100,000, but I want to put together strategies a little bit of a stretch goal. So there's a must goal, and then there's a stretch goal. So we must get to $100,000. We're going to work on that, do everything we can, and we're going to reach that number. But then there's the $200,000. So we're going to build the plan so it stretches us. For some of us, some of you, $200,000 is not a big deal because you work for a company and an organization, and that's, it's just peanuts for you. And it's okay. Your team, you get the concept. So let's take a look at a couple of things. One that's very important, we talked about, were leads and engage leads and then qualify leads. Now, in your CEO Sales Dashboard, some of you can go in there and you can customize the CEO Dashboard, right? So in your Excel sheet where you have a category called leads, you could then put underneath that engage leads and then qualify leads. So a lead, by our definition, and there's a lot of definitions, but I believe you all would agree with this, a lead is just someone that we can contact. Someone that knows that our company is on the planet. And that's pretty cool. They go into your database, you have the first name, last name, phone number, and email. That's when I say I have a lead. After that, then what we really, really want as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, as sales professionals, and for folks that manage teams that are listening right now that run for or inside of companies, we really are looking for engaged leads. And this is the shift in the market. The old way was, just find somebody and get as many no's as you can. Like, I need 100 no's. I need 100 no's. I hate it. 100 no's. Let me just call. And that's fine. That's the old way. I'm part of the Puff Daddy generation. I got remix versions on everything. I even got my AARP card. The old way of doing it was make 100 calls, make 100 calls, make 100 calls. The new way is, I understand I have a lead. How can I get the lead to engage, raise their hand and say, you know what? I have an interest, want, or desire. Isn't that so important? It's not find somebody with a need. No. That's the old way. They must have an interest, want, or desire. See, I can need to lose weight and do absolutely nothing. I can need to save money and do absolutely nothing. But if I have an interest, want, or desire for a new pair of shoes, which I just did this past weekend, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I stop by the store, buy these shoes, even the shoe I want, which I got on right now, and I'm going to wear them. That's an engaged lead. What did Toyota do? Well, they got an engaged lead. You too can do the exact same thing. So I wanted to share that with you because for some folks, inside your plan as you're putting it down, this is something different. Then once they become engaged, then we turn out and see how they can be qualified. So we want to talk to qualified leads, but at least they are engaged leads. And then some of you have 1, 2, or 3 different offers that you can make someone, right? And that's called, your best offer and then a down sale. I don't want to get into that, but I want you to be planning. How many leads do you need next month? How many engaged leads would you like to have? And then how many qualified leads? We'll get into leads at a much deeper level, but for a plan, I want you to have that. And then day 2, we talked about the outreach strategy. How are we going to take them from a lead to an engaged lead? What's the nurture system we have? We call it a sales funnel. That's super important. Now, you're building out your sales plan. Maybe you've never, ever done a sales plan in your life, but you're going to do one right now. So you got build out the sales plan. Then we talked about turning engaged leads into qualified leads. And this is when you're able to come in and ask questions. And for some of you, you don't have a crib to cradle type of product, meaning you don't just meet someone and then have a one call close. So you don't just meet them and say, oh, by the way, it's great meeting you. Let's have a conversation. And then you make an offer. Others of you, you do. Like you have one phone call, one email, you send them to a sales page, you're done. Okay. The reason I always mention that this is important, what's the nurture system, is that before you speak to someone, you may have to do a qualification. Some of you have a team that can make the calls and qualify folks. Some of you use high ticket appointment setting sequences. Maybe they fill out a questionnaire. Some of you do it the old fashioned way. Some of you are on the phone, you talk to them, and then you find out where they are. Then you either close the deal, you set a second appointment, or you send them to someone else who closes the deal. Either way, I want you to take a look at your nurture system. And I want you to rate that system. It's called baseline strategy. Baseline is everything you're doing today to produce the results you're producing today on a monthly basis. You introduce the baseline strategy. It says, what's one thing I can do to produce a high result that I'm producing now? So you look at the nurture system and say, what's one of the tweaks? What's one of the changes that we could do? With CEO Sales Huddle, one of the changes we decided to make early on is, remember, we first started, we weren't doing a CEO case study in the beginning. And I've learned so much from those myself over the years. And I said, well, wouldn't it be pretty cool to see what other companies are doing, because success leaves clues, and then apply it to what we're doing. And so that's a shift in the nurture system, because that's the first thing you can do to learn something new. For many of you, and if you heard the case study, there's a new perspective that I'm sharing. What's your nurture system? What can you do to raise it up? And then last, and tomorrow we'll be really talking about, or today we're talking about as well, setting the appointments. So when you set the appointment, you have that appointment tab. Remember we had that appointment tab, how many appointments you have? You might take a look at that, and underneath that, in one of the boxes, maybe I'll show this next time as a visual, you want to put down what are qualified leads, and then what are leads you're just having a conversation with. And it's okay. It's not a good thing or bad thing. You play the hand you're dealt in poker. They say you can win with any hand, okay? So you're going to play the hand you're dealt, and you're going to play it for the long game, not the short game. We talked about that earlier in another case study. That was Tesla. And so I want you right now to tune in, and I want you to make a commitment that you're going to put together your sales plan and you're going to send it to me. Now, I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to talk about it, but I don't mind giving comments, number one, back if you desire that, or just to be your accountability partner. And this is a good place to come, where every day you have accountability partner as a CEO. We all gather here to understand the 5 sales pillars that will drive our business. And these are 5 sales pillars that every CEO needs to know. And the indicators I'm giving you is what every CEO would have on a dashboard. And if you think about it like this, if there was one indicator you would look at every single day on your dashboard, it would be sales. What's number 2? It doesn't matter. With that being said, I want to remind you that every morning we look to earn, learn, and return. This is our mantra. Learn, earn, and return. Repeat after me. I have to learn something new in order to earn new revenue from current clients, in order to get new and old clients to return. So I must learn something new in order to earn revenue from current clients, in order to get new and old clients to return. Learn, earn, return. Learn, earn, return. Learn, earn, return. Okay, we're done, but I got to figure this thing out in the future, because I can't seem to get it back to what I want to go. Let me close this down. Let's see if that's causing any problems there. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Well, it's not where we're going. That's where we're going. Okay, there we go. We're not perfect, ladies and gentlemen, but every day we get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. I want you to know that you're amazing. You're incredible. You're a CEO. You're making a difference. Let's go out there and change the world together by making more sales, solving more problems, and making a more impact in the world. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow at the CEO Sales Huddle.